Greetings to all fellow chess assassins and chess friends. This is brought to you by Chess and Gaming.
This first game illustration is a prelude to the thematical lesson. I am not alone. My AI friend is here to assist me. Greetings, chess friends and fellow chess assassins. Today's thematic lesson is different methods that white may use to fight for a spatial advantage. The first method is playing the pawn to h4 on move 9. After regaining the pawn on c4, white will start launching a pawn assault on the king's side. Remember this pattern. Pawn to h4 followed by pawn to f3, which is then followed by pawn to e4. With so many pawns on the light squares, white will need to place the bishop on e3 in order to cover the g1 to a7 diagonal. Opening goal achieved. In this line, white has a different plan. White's particular development in this line consists of bishop e3, queen to d2, and rook over to d1. Massive trades will take place. End of line. We have arrived at the third method. White will place the queen on c2 in order to support the pawn's advance to e4. Both pawns on d4 and e4 are tactical targets for black. One thing I want you to notice is the flexibility of the pieces for both sides. Here, black places the queen on c7 with the idea of playing the knight to e5, and if the knight moves to e5, trade it off. Attention, we have a message from AI. Danger detected. Queen takes g3 is a threat. After black plays the bishop to c5, the pawn is pinned. White must step off the pin. Black's dark square bishop is better than your dark square bishop. unless you can see a use for it. Trade the dark square bishops. So white gets rid of his bad bishop. And lastly, 3 final tactical targets for black are your pawns on b5, f4, and g2. Well done. End of line. In this example, I use a different approach. The focus here is on white's hanging pawns. White's pawn duel proves to be very effective in this game. We have a message from AI. Hanging pawns are 2 pawns that are adjacent to each other, but they're separated from all the other pawns. They're similar to the isolated pawn. However, the play is the same. Play around isolated pawns is dynamic. Well, the same goes for hanging pawns. Play is dynamic. Focus on white's play around the hanging pawns. Whenever you're playing the side with the hanging pawns, always think play is dynamic, always look for tactics, and be willing to make a sacrifice. In this game, for example, you're going to see white sacrifice the queen to promote one of the pawns. Remember, when pawns reach the 6th rank, they're about equivalent to a piece. You want to play your passed pawns skillfully. This is a game that I was playing on Lichess. I am the first player. I'm playing the white side. My idea here is to dominate the board with my centralized pawns. I want to smother my opponent. The key is to mobilize your centralized pawns. That also means to make sure that you have both dark and light squares covered. I knew that my opponent was more focused on trying to stop my pawns, but I used that to my advantage. Now I'm threatening check on b7. When you have an advantage or you have the initiative, then use it to your advantage. Create threats while also exploiting your advantage. Okay, this is the last example. I was playing the white pieces on Lee chess. This was a real game. Knight takes d6 is the unpin. If queen takes knight, queen takes queen. So after the king moves, then knight takes the bishop on f5, hitting the queen. And now the king has to either step off the pin or push the pawn to support the knight. Thanks for watching.